Can you believe it? We're in the middle of July. I just feel like I did this garden tour and it's been 2 weeks. Hi, it is Robbie from Southern California. I bought myself a pole to put a camera on top. I had the camera on top. Gary put the flag out for 4th of July and he loves his flag. So we'll see. I'm still probably gonna put the camera back. Oh, look at the monarch butterflies. I'm still working slowly on the front yard. We've had a little bit of wind, as you can see. There's a palm frond there from the palm tree there, but it's coming along really nice. I'm really happy with it. All this took really good. I've got walking onions here. I've got brassicas. I'm going to clean up these totes back there and get more growing in there. I freshened up, look at this, my finger lime, and it's taking off. It's full of blossoms, but I've got to cut it way back. In other words, I'll get a chair, I'll sit down and trim the whole thing. But I'm pleased. I probably have to spend about 2-3 hours in here, but I've been working all over the place. Still trying to figure out where I'm going to put all my turmeric. So I'm working on that. I've got now here, look at this, tomatoes growing, and we have been picking. I don't want the purslane in here. I want all the energy and all the plant food from the leaves and everything I put in there going to my tomato plant. I've got the brassicas growing there. Look at the walking onions. No joke. I'm going to have hundreds of these things and I'm going to plant them. I'm going to set them up where I can just pick the whole thing and eat the onion and the greens at the same time. So that's what's going on in the front yard. Let's walk over. Look at the monarchs. I can't believe it. Why? Because I'm planting milkweed, different types of milkweed now all over the property. And it's just brought in hundreds. It literally, like Gary said, you practically have to swat them out of your face while you're working. I know they're all over. He doesn't swat them, but you know what I mean. You're walking into them and they're just all over the place. Look at the flowers. These succulent plants, oh my gosh, the hummingbirds love these flowers. They're growing everywhere because this is the time of the year that they go into bloom. Pretty much done with all my turmeric. I'm going to repot this one from last year. Had this in the bird garden. See how the soil dropped to this low? So I'm going to just yank the whole thing out and put it in another pot. And then I can clean all this up because I'm done. Because I've got this here. I decided not to put another table here. Got close, but thought, nah, I'm not going to right now. So all of this is doing pretty good. Something chewed on that, so the leaf will be damaged. This is ginger. This is turmeric. And look, you got a flower. Look, look, look. I've got another flower. And I think, look back here. Is that not cool? I think that's all I've got right now. They've been popping out flowers. That is cool. Now this is my black turmeric, also known as blue or purple, whatever you want to call it. I've got 3 of them here. Got one on the other turmeric table. Gary's going to take that one. Then the rest of these that are all opening now are just regular turmeric. And then, of course, I've got my ginger. I gave a lot of ginger to Gary. Oh, I had this covered because something was chewing it. Let's see. See, they're coming through. Trying to protect it a little. I should drape tulle all the way around this table, and that will stop any squirrels from jumping up. And then this is the bat face flowers. Now, I've transplanted this one into a pot I had. And this wasn't the pot it came in. And this one, this is the pot it came in. I've got to transplant this one. It's not going to stay there. And there they are. And then I'm going to start doing cuttings. I haven't done cuttings yet. But aren't they cool? I love them. All right, let's go into the bird garden because we're doing just a different way. I'm trying to figure out when I'm going to go down and look at Gary's garden. I haven't done that yet. You know, I haven't been there. Gosh, I think it's been a couple months. I don't think he's got sunlight. Hold on. Everything is growing. I can see way down there that you probably can't see it is all asparagus. Look at the rabbit running across. So he's got asparagus out there. There's an avocado tree to the right. And then he's got grapes, he told me, galore. There's a papaya down there. The whole top is covered in passion fruit. And I'm not sure. He's got a bunch of stuff growing. Maybe 2 different types of passion fruit. I think he's got different ones. He may have ube growing. He's got his bananas. He does have an oriole nest down there. That's his little haven. He goes down there, spends time when he has time, and that's it. So it's a hike You can't go this way. We had a rattlesnake here weeks ago, and so there's no way to go down this way. Maybe for him, he hikes down, slides through the hill, and jumps down the wall. There's a staircase, not this one. There's a staircase to the left, and then the hike is the way I go by my chair garden where the truck bed is. That's another, it's a trail. We've kind of developed a trail, and it's beautiful. I just haven't done it because I get up in the morning, have my coffee here like I did this morning, watch the squirrels come in and all the birds, and then I go for it. And we're still early, but now it looks like the sun is kind of breaking through. We're cold in the morning. We're like 68 degrees, and that's cool for summer. So it's really, and let's say it's hindering some of the plants. We started getting dragon fruit flowers, and then they stopped again because we're just a little too cool. Gary had a few, and so it's kind of like we're not, oh, I see a flower that's going to open. You probably can't see it, but it's through there. So that we'll have to watch. Could open tonight or tomorrow. There's one that opened there, but we didn't get to it. He didn't pollinate it. It's back here. It's turned yellow already. So it's got to be hand pollinated. So our weather's kind of off because we're still so cool in the morning. And like I said, the squash get powdery mildew, but it will change before we know it. So the squirrels stopped coming up. They couldn't come up this way because of the tool. So they decided to come up the back way, and now they're chewing my beautiful broccoli. I really don't want them to chew it. Oh my goodness, there's a hawk being chased by a couple little birds. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but they're not chewing this one. So I'm not sure what to do because I let them have this one, thinking they'd leave the rest alone, but they chewed it up, so now they're chewing that. And I don't want them to chew all this because I use this in my green drink. I love these leaves. I know it's broccoli, and broccoli is better to eat off the top, but so are the leaves and so are the branches. Maybe I should just do some cuttings off of that. Yes, and move it. Put it somewhere else. Anyways, we've got the geraniums growing there. I've got the lemon verbena. I haven't extended this yet. Still figuring out how I'm going to do it. Because, well, it's more like I'm working other places. Let's step back here. These totes are almost 10 years old. I wouldn't move them, but they are about 10 years old, and they're going strong. I'm getting, the geraniums are growing in here, and mint's growing in there, and I'm getting a lot of food still out of them. I've got the walking onions that grow through them, and garlic chives. This is pineapple sage. We don't eat this, but the hummingbirds like the flower. And then this in here, the chocolate mint. So, and again, the garlic chive. So it's doing really, really well. This is mushroom plant. I really got to get more propagated. I love this. You can grow this as a house plant, and then you can eat it, which is wonderful. Clean off any of the leaves you don't want, but this tastes so good. It tastes like mushrooms. Gary added it to his tortillas the other day on top with eggs, and it was so good. Here I'm propagating the blanket flower. This one looks like it didn't make it, but this one made it. It's got new growth there. New growth, new growth. This one already threw flowers. I've got to clip this. Once the flower starts to go, you want to clip it so the new flowers will come up. This is emu bush that I propagated, so I'm doing a little bit of everything. Let's walk through. We had this morning, and every morning, hundreds of spice finches in here, the mannequins. Oh my goodness, hundreds. And Gary just went and picked up so much seed. I can't believe how much we're putting out for them. And then the squirrels come in, they've got the blue bowl there, so they know to sit there. But I am working on here. My goal is to clear this all out. Now that I've been propagating this salvia, I can clear this out and cut it back, and I want to have a path so I can easily get back there and service my water fountains. Look, I haven't serviced the one I made. That one is a cement dome. It's got hummingbirds on it and everything. It's just too hard. I have to hike through this way. So I've got a lot of work to do in there. There's a tote that's not being used for anything, so I'm going to get that out. And then I'll have like a horseshoe so you can walk around, and I've got to lower this. I let it get out of control, but here's the issue. If I cut it off, I'm cutting off the flowers for the birds and the bees. And that's what I don't want to do. I don't have any peanuts right now. He's looking for peanuts. He thinks, oh, she's out here. She's going to give me peanuts. Where did she put them? No, 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 no. I'll do it soon. Okay, he'll take some sunflower. And so I want to make it where you can easily access it. And then I'm going to have more of a bird garden here. And then here's my statue. Isn't that beautiful? I love this. I love it. Oh my goodness, that was from Goodwill. More than I normally spend. I can't remember what it was. Was it $13, $15? But I really do like it. So I'm gonna have to go through here and kind of make an access for me. I'm gonna clean up my frog fountain. I just kind of piled it up and thought I'd get to it. I'm almost done with my candlestick. I'm sure you want to see me put it together. I'm going to set up the candlestick fountain there. It was set up years ago down there, and the birds would use it like mad. And then I kind of started working on other things, and the pump needed cleaning. It's easier to just forget it for now. So I'm going to go through and clean that. I've got buckets that have been propping up the plant because it wants to fall over. This is the Hummingbird's lunch. I've had this for years. And then this is just geraniums. This is a sweet pea bush, but this is the emu bush. It throws the yellow flowers and berries. I'm sure the birds eat the berries off of it. So I've got too much in here. There's a sage growing in here, and I've got to clean this up, and then I'll be able to service the back and kind of clean it all up better. So this is doing just beautiful. I mean, I'm so pleased. There's my other bat face flower. I went ahead and repotted it. It's doing great. I don't want it there. I'm just kind of getting something done and then going on my merry way. I mean, I can show you here the mess. Cleaned out all my old lettuce because it needed it. Set this up and I'm ready to plant more lettuce in all here. Here's my lettuce. You know how I do it. I've got videos. Look at this. It's the easiest thing to plant. And don't let anybody tell you you can't grow it in the summer. You can control it where you can grow lettuce all summer, because I did all last summer. Look at the flowers. Isn't that beautiful? Now, let me tell you where these flowers came from. I didn't grow them here, but I grew them on the deck. And I know you haven't seen the deck. Well, I kind of put a video out and said, hey, would you like to see the deck? And I didn't get that many people that wanted to see it. So I thought, you know what? I'll just keep going and doing gardening and doing my fountains, because I just thought maybe it wasn't, and there wasn't an interest maybe? I'm not sure. But the deck is going strong. I haven't set it up as a food garden, though I will tell you, as I walk around it, this is what it looked like this morning. The hummingbirds are feeding on there. Zoe absolutely loves her deck. You've got the orioles, and I've got flowers. I've got brassicas. Do not kid yourself. There's plenty of food there. I've got squash growing. I go out there and pick zucchini quite a bit. I've got tomatoes. Tomatillos are just starting. I've got peppers that we've been harvesting for days. I think there's still there's a red pepper out there and some green peppers. I've got cuttings I have been doing. I've been propagating out there. There's a lot going on with the deck. I just haven't done it. I should do a full update. I should clean it up a little bit better. But I bring the flowers that you can see that are on the deck that are growing, because I'll get, let's say, a marigold growing, but it won't be one. There might be 30, 40 plants in one spot. So then what I do is I pick out some of them and then bring them into the bird garden. And from there, I just stick them around and they're growing. And same thing with the zinnias. The zinnias are growing there. I get a whole cluster of them growing. They won't grow in a cluster. You'll end up with this little 2-inch plant. But when you separate them, as I did in the bird garden where there's only 2 plants, then they will burst into a great big bush and you'll get all your flowers that way. So I'm bringing it from the bird garden, from the deck to the bird garden, and that's where I'm moving some of them. And then I've got a lot of stuff growing. So I am really pleased with the deck. If you really want to see the deck, put in the comments, and if more than 1 or 2 of you come in and say, yeah, I want to see your small garden, then I'll do another walkthrough on the deck. Otherwise, you will see it soon. But all my energy and everything is going out here in the bird garden. I'm moving plants around. All this is propagating. I'm trying to get more plants propagated. I've even given some away. If a neighbor or a friend wants, I'm more than happy to give them away. This was propagated off the original plant that's over there. This was propagated. There's another plant over there. There's another one back there. There's like dozens of plants that I propagated here. This is the Mexican sage that Gary brought home. I'm trimming this back, and I'll get some more small ones growing, but I'm trying to get it under control. So I'm just dragging things in. I just dragged these upside down planters I got rid of off the deck. I bought him at Walmart for like $2.50, what, 10, 15 years ago. I don't like him. They had him originally for like $100 and they reduced him to 60, and then one day they wanted them all out. So I'm putting my flowers in there, and that's what's growing here. And I realized after all these years, why don't I just shorten the legs to the size I want? Because the legs are in 1, 2, 3 pieces. So I can make them different heights. Say that one's short, and then you can make them taller. So that's what I'm doing with them. And I'm going to spot the flowers I want in between my bushes. So I'm going to get some more back there, lift them in area so I can have the flowers growing. And it will work that way. Instead of just putting them in a corner and saying, I don't want to use them. Use them. I bought them. Why not? Here's all my brassicas. I trimmed all this back one night, came out here and thought, okay, I want to trim this. I've got a baby brassica coming up. Oh, a couple of them in the pot. I'm going to clean this up. See what I'm doing? I'm trimming it. Let me move this. It's caught. Okay. And I'm putting all the trimmings in there, and then I'll just cover it with anything. Leaves, some soil from another tote, and then I can plant in that. That's another tote that's probably the same time from a thrift store, probably 9, 10 years old. And then back here, I've got things growing. So I need to get this thing where I can get back there again. And that was the whole idea, is I wanted to be able to service and get back there, take care of the back fence, and get the things growing the way I want. And it's kind of turning into a jungle. It doesn't need to be a jungle. It's still good without being, fully engulfed in plants. Plus, I want to see the ground because, as you know, some of you saw the video, what happened on the deck. I would never go back and see the video. If I found the feathers out there, I would never have believed what happened. I probably would have looked at Zoe and said to her, "What'd you do, poor thing?" Without even thinking that a snake would have come up the stairway, like a second floor, get onto the deck, and then go slither up to the top of the rail till it got to the bird feeder. And it didn't even go after a hummingbird. It went after an oriole. Go watch the video. It was terrifying. It really caused me nightmares for a while. And then same thing here. I've got the milkweed, though I'm moving some of the milkweed out. I'm going to have a butterfly garden in the front yard where we just came from, and then one on the side. We'll see that pretty soon. That's working out really good. Should dig this out. That's sweet potato. Years ago, a couple years ago, I had it growing in this tote. There's nothing in the tote right now, but kind of got out and started growing. I really should dig that up and take care of it. I don't know what kind it is, but I know it's sweet potato. Look at this. These are baby walking onions from last year. I can't help myself. It seemed like I walk through and I keep cleaning, and I want it to look nice, and I want them to grow good. Look at all the baby walking onions. So I'm kind of getting ready to grab the babies as time comes, like this one. If I don't take this off soon, it's not getting any nutrition from the parent plant. So I've got to get that one off soon if I want it. There's going to be tons, but that's what happens. All this will start to turn brown, and you'll want to remove it at that point and then plant the babies. You can plant them as a cluster, or you could separate them because they'll get bigger. You can separate them at that point, and then you can plant them as single onions. And I want a lot of them planted singly, because when you do that, you get a nice bulb on it, and it's really good. See, these you can see. They're getting close to being harvested back there. See, there's a whole bunch of bulbs. You can separate them. Now, this one only has 2, but it's throwing a second set here. And this one's got a cluster. So if they're big enough, you can separate them. If they're too small, then I would leave them and then just stick them in a pot and let them grow as a cluster and use them that way. Let's keep walking. I've got to trim this back. This is ridiculous. But what I'm trying to do is get back here, which I can walk through, and get a lot of brassicas planted there. One of them took really good. Look at that. The other ones are kind of, well, you know what the problem is? The squirrels come through and they sit there and they eat up my brassicas. I can stop them by putting some tool, but I have not done that yet. When I'm ready, I will. There are plenty of brassicas growing. If I let the squirrels eat some, then they'll leave some alone. Like they've left, look at this. They've left my tomatoes alone. Remember I just planted this, 2-3 months ago? Look at this. Is this not cool? Look, look, look. We've got so many tomatoes. There's 2 plants in here, and then there's some pot marigold, and there's also Chinese forget-me-nots, which I think are dead. Look at all the tomatoes. Look, aren't they gorgeous? And guess what? They all belong to me. There's a pot marigold. So I just reach in from the top and take what I want, and eventually I can trim the plant down. It's really struggling. I know some of you are saying, hey, that plant doesn't look that good, because there's way too much fruit on it, and I'm gonna have to really do a sweep on that soon. Get a lot of it off, wash it, dry it, and freeze them in bags so I've got them all winter. And that's my next project. Yeah, when? Same thing here, old totes, where I've got a lot of stuff growing, like garlic, chives, and mint, chocolate, and peppermint. Another propagated plant in with walking onions. Look at that, hummingbird's lunch. This one's being nibbled on by squirrels, but this is my purple plant. I've got a whole bunch of cuttings, so I'm not that worried about it. My poor moringa, it's been here for so many years. It's probably fighting with a lot of the mint to get water, but that's okay. It has its moments. Plus, I stripped off a bunch of leaves the other day to make a green drink. Okay. And then here, this is just where I work. That's why I said I've got plenty of purple. I'm not worried. The squirrels have them come up here to bother it. And for some reason, they bother it back there, and they bother it there. Probably up against the wall, someplace to jump, to hide if a hawk came by. I've got pepper plants. These are just stuff I'm propagating. And then I move it as soon as I feel it's ready. Let's go out here. Look at this, Gary's project. Oh, he told me I can use this. I may redo this temporarily. I stepped over here so you can see it better. He's got some project. I don't know what he's going to do with it, but he's not going to get to it until late fall or winter. So I said to him the other day, can I use it? I won't mess it up. And he said, yeah, I don't see why not. So I might not have no top, no nothing. I have an idea of how I can utilize this maybe all summer and into fall, and then he can have it back without changing anything, adding anything, or doing anything to it. So if all goes well and I find the time, I will be growing in there. Now I can just quickly go through here because I have not done anything really except groom in the rainbow garden, because I've been working in the dog kennel, I've been working on my wall. So we'll kind of look quickly here. I've cleaned up my peppers from last year, and they are making a comeback. I stuck this tomato plant in there because I pulled it out from the dog kennel. It was in a place that I thought it shouldn't be because I had watermelon and cucumbers growing. Yanked it out, shoved it in here about 3 days ago, and it's doing good. So we'll see what happens. And these are just in pots. Look, almost no soil. Again, another cutting, and this is an old pepper from last year. So we'll see. If I get to it, I can plant something different in there. Even this, I can plant something different. This is all from last year, but it is growing pepinos. Maybe I should just stick a bunch of pepinos in there. That plant did really good. It was just a stem I put in there, and I propagated that, and now I got a fruit that I better get off. With these, if you eat them like this, then you slice them up and you can put it in stir fry or something. If you wait till they turn yellow, then they're sweet, and you eat them like you would a cantaloupe or something. They're a melon. And then here, I do have to get the milkweed out. This is going to be very difficult with all the butterflies coming through, but I'll be very careful removing it. If I see any caterpillars, I'll lay the stems somewhere when I prune it down and pull everything out. And then if they hatch, they'll be near another milkweed that can crawl onto that. And then if not, I'll compost it or toss it out. Usually what you want to do with this type of milkweed is cut it back, throw it out. Some people don't tell you not to compost it. I don't know. And then let it regrow into new fresh growth. So I'm going to have to do something soon because I want my totes back. And I've made a butterfly garden we can go look at in a minute. But look at the tomatoes. This is about half of what was here the other day because Gary's been picking them. He makes tortillas with them in the morning, and he roasts these tomatoes, and they're so good. I told him just keep picking because there's so many. I cannot keep up with all the tomatoes growing everywhere. And now I've got them growing even, well, in the chair garden as well as the kennel, the dog kennel. So I told him just keep picking in here. But this is basically the same that you saw. See, nothing's changed. Here's my pizza garden, which this has been phenomenal. I have done nothing to this. Usually every year I come back and I refreshen up all the herbs, except for, of course, my rosemary, which I planted from a piece of cutting about that size. And look how big it got. And it's in a pot, and I left it in the pot. You see it in there? And now the roots have gone into the bucket. But I didn't have to do anything. The oregano came back And it grew so much it's in there. I put some pieces in there, and it's growing all over the ground. I should yank that out and put it in a pot. The milkweed I might move, but not right now. And then the basil was a surprise. I have 2 basils. This is last year's, so now it's in its 2nd year. It grew back on its own, and then I've got the thyme that grew all winter in the dog kennel, and I planted it in here. Smells so good, and it's doing great. So I'll have to get all that together, and then I want to go back through and put the irrigation tubing. You do know, I bought this like 2 years ago and haven't used it yet. You can get irrigation tubing in blue. It will cost you a little more, but if you wanted to go with color, and I thought it was going to look really good, so about 2 years ago I bought it and thought, oh, I'll show you. Look, you can get it. I got this at Walmart. I haven't put it up. So it's there, so I won't forget. Otherwise, it's tucked away, out of sight, out of mind. That's what happens. This came off the deck. This is my potato mint. I'm going to plant the potato mint, and then I'm going to leave the marigold. I will tell you, you have too many flowers in with your vegetable plants. I have found they will pull energy from your vegetable plant. Here is my purple basil growing with some lettuce. Now, this lettuce has been out in the sun. Though you can eat these leaves, see how thick they are? They're going to be out a little bit bitter, just a little bit. But otherwise, you can't eat them. Otherwise, it can go to seed, and you can collect the seeds and grow like I'm doing. Just collect them, grow it, and start over. I haven't set these 2 up yet for seeds. I am planning on doing it at any moment, but they're getting too big. See how they're yellow? I got to get them out of here. The whole idea of planting in here, and I've got the video on that, is to get them out when they're small and keep going. Look, we could step in there. I got lettuce growing in there. So that's what's going on here. Let's go. You know what? I can just spin around here so we don't have to come back. My cars are doing okay. It's just tomatoes. Let's walk over here. You know, I was planning on making this in 15 minutes. I don't know why I think that every 2 weeks. I'll make it short. These totes, they're just holding the soil that's been coming out of here. But look at this. San Marzanos, and we've been using them. So that's in a 5-gallon bucket, 1 plant doing really good. Then I've got my red vein sorrel in a pot. And I just shove all the leaves back. It's chop and drop, and it feeds the plant. And then I've got green sorrel, I've got walking onions. See, a lot of these have to come off. If I don't get them off, I will lose them. They don't fall and then come back in the winter. Some people think that. No. It's not a bulb like that. It will dry up. And then I've got more here. Look at it. It's packed. Oh, that's right. I told Gary there's more. Look at this. So we're doing really, really well. Again, just soil there. And this is a table I've been working on. It's a mess. Now, this lettuce is ridiculous. I planted this, you probably know better than me, November? Though they stayed small because there's so many in here, if I plant them now, they're just going to bolt into seed. And I don't want to compost them. So I'm starting to plant them and let them go to seed because the goldfinches absolutely love it. It's a big food for them. So that's what I've been doing. And that's okay. It's a win-win because you get free seed. There's nothing wrong with this. It's just these little lettuce are 8-9 months old, and they should have been big, but they're not going to grow big like this. And then I've got some turmeric in here right now. I'm going to see how this goes because I'm out of space. And I wanted to try something different. I have grown it once before in a dish pan. I figured I would grow it again. I've got a celery. And there's Gary's basil. I forgot what this is. You know what? His tag is there. Thai basil. He left it. It was drying up. So I took care of it. And I said, I'll find a place for it. He said he doesn't know where he's going to put it in his garden. I'm going to put my sign out. And then here, as you can see, is my butterfly garden. Now this is going to go. That went to seed, and I left it for the goldfinches. Here is narrow leaf milkweed. The butterflies had caterpillars, and they chewed it down. More milkweed through here. There's a tomato coming up. See what I do? I can put the lettuce in a milk carton. There's 2 milk cartons, and now I've got all this seed. And the birds will come and feed off of this. Let's see if we can see some of the seed. See those tiny little gray things right there? Just put it there. I'll get lettuce growing in there at the same time the birds will be able to eat all they want. There's a watermelon there, plant starting to take off, Mexican sage. See, this has been the easiest thing, though it took a little time to plant. Just wonderful to put out like this. I'm doing it in layers. So I've got mint growing in its own pot. Though it will leave through the bottom. Keep that in mind. Don't let anybody ever tell you, put your mint out in your garden in a flower pot so you can contain it. You cannot contain it. That is the biggest false statement that they tell people, and then they can't get rid of it. So I'm aware of it, but it's not going to leave that tote. It will leave your pot. We should do a whole video on that. It will leave the pot. It has ways. You can't prevent it. There are ways of preventing it, but planting it this way is not. I've got some marigold. This is just a whole bunch of pot marigold. It's all kinds of stuff in here. You've got garlic chives. Then I've got my tree I was going to compost. Gary said, look, it's got all new growth. I said, I know. It's just an avocado tree. Maybe one day I'll learn to graft. That came up and I decided to move it. It was way down there in a tote. And I thought, no, I'm going to keep it. So then I've got just different things. Look at the spray millet came up. We've been taking the seed heads when they get really big and putting it in the bird garden for the birds. And then I've got a mustard back here. This is mustard seed. You can see the seed. Let me see if I can get it in the sun. You'd be able to see it. I can't find the sun. The sun is just coming up in spots. But there is mustard seed there. And the birds will eat that as well. And then it will fall and it will reseed all through here. But this is my butterfly garden. So it's mixed with different flowers. And yes, even a turmeric was in this tote. What I don't want are weeds. That's what I don't want, because they just take energy from the plants I want to grow. So I just pick it out and drop it. Got Malabar spinach in here too. I really don't want Malabar spinach. That will take a lot too. That's Malabar spinach. There's Malabar spinach. That throws a really fine seed, and so it will end up all over as well. Got the forget-me-nots. I've even got a pomegranate tree. Gary wanted me to compost it. So I said, I'll get rid of it. I put it here. I left the sow thistle so the hummingbirds can build their nest, and all the butterflies and everything can feed off the flowers. Look at this. Is this not beautiful? Then I've got orange mint there. So I've got chocolate mint there and orange mint there. Just a lot of stuff. I haven't gotten to this yet. And then there is all my squash. Let's go back this way. So here's the small dog kennel. This is the size it comes. And I've got milkweed on the ground as well. And I was going to completely reorganize it the other day. And I think I talked about it when I made my video on the dog kennel. And I looked at it yesterday. I got in here and started working at that. No, it's actually set up the way I wanted. So I'm resetting this up. We can step in here for a second. Else I got, that's a video. I'm not going to talk about. If I talk about that, it's 15 minutes. So look how nice this is. I don't need to change it. I need to clean it up. I don't need a squash that I kept that dried out like a gourd. That's why this is not a gourd, because they're so thin. I don't need it here, but I've got lettuce. Oh, that may be a weed, but that's lettuce. Look at all my lettuce growing. Got 2 lettuce in there. I'll see if I want to keep them both. I'm propagating all through here. This is tree collared. This is just a parsley that came up. I planted it. And I layer. See, here's a lettuce here. But by layering it, you're keeping, while you're propagating, the pot moist. So I do a lot of layering, see? And that does help. So I can plant things while I layer. This is just something I'm going to build. You'll see that when I build it. So there'll be something there. And then this is Hummingbird's lunch. And again, I'm layering. I use rocks or pots. This is celery, green celery. This is a geranium, and I wanted the cuttings off of this. It's doing really good. Mushroom plant. This is nothing. I just put soil in pots so when I need something, I can grab it. Look at all the lettuce. See? And lettuce seeds are back there, way up there. This is not a way to grow. It's too short for the lettuce because they want to get up tall. But it worked out because the lettuce grew and it can't go anywhere. So the seeds fell, and look at all the lettuce. Now I can take those and move them. Now, I will have to do something separate on lettuce if you want to grow lettuce, because if I leave this here, I probably will end up with lettuce that wants to go to seed. So I'll have to move it and work with it in the summer. So I get lettuce. And then again, just stuff that was on the ground for now. I've got milkweed because it blew in here. I've got a turmeric. It must have been a piece, but that's the one I really wanted. See? That's a geranium. I got purslane even growing. So cleaned up, let me tell you something. A family of 1 or 2 could probably get all the food they want in here. And I haven't even done much. I've got all the space on the bottom, all the space here, all the space in the back. You can go up here. It's really nice. All right, let me close this because we don't want rabbits to get in there and start eating up my lettuce. I can't tell you how many zucchini we have picked, because it's like every day I'm picking multiple zucchinis. They just keep growing and growing. This plant was hacked all the way back because of our weather being so damp in the morning. And like I said, the clouds are kind of leaving now. They come and go. It's just been phenomenal. I've got to pick this one. I've got another one back there. I've got this one I got to pick. So I've got a lot of zucchini all through here. And then this right now is my potato garden. So I've got all the potatoes starting to grow. And that's what I'm thinking of moving and making another one. I would like to grow a whole lot more potatoes. This is really good. This is potato mint. Oh, I didn't show you the other one. I'll show you that real quick. This is just some stuff that's growing in here, celery. And this is a real red Swiss chard. This, again, I don't want the purslane. I'm going to have this probably all potato mint as long as the rabbits don't get up there and eat it, because they love potato mint. Flowers in a bucket. Just threw the seeds in there and let them grow. Here's the potato mint. And that's my new top. Irrigation tubing. Very easy. It's stapled on. Of course, I had to cut it to manipulate the tubing to be stapled on. And now this is covered in a kind of a burgundy wine color tulle. And the rabbits don't like the tulle. So I'm good on that. They haven't touched it. And I clipped it. So the lid is on really good. Isn't that nice? Look how tall it is. I haven't done anything with the back because that's just going to be Malabar spinach. It's going to come up like it did last year and go that way. It loves the heat of the summer, and we haven't been that hot. Haven't done anything with my strawberries. And that, let's see, we've looked at that. And then this is the dog kennel. We're almost done, actually. Look at that. I love my dog kennel. There is so much going on. I decided to keep this completely clear. If you saw anything with pots before, I want to be able to walk through here and not have to dance or dodge pots. But I've got watermelon now growing in here. I did get rid of all the tomatoes that were here. This is just sitting in a pot. And this has got a purpose. I'm rooting the watermelon as we grow it. So this is going to create roots for the watermelon. This will create roots for the watermelon. So I'm going to have one watermelon plant, but it's going to turn into multiple watermelons. Because right now I've got 2. Even though it's one plant, I've got a watermelon plant here and a separate one here. See? Because it's re-rooted. Cucumbers don't do it as well, but watermelon will. So I can get more watermelon off of one plant. So I'm working with that right now. I've got my cucumbers already starting, little cucumbers. A little cucumber. So we're just starting the cucumbers on here. Like I said, some people are warmer in the morning and at night, and they have their cucumbers growing like mad. But here we're so damp, it causes a lot of powdery mildew because of the dampness and the clouds in the morning. But I've got more watermelon just starting here, and I'm training it. I have to make sure it doesn't go through the 1/4-inch wire. So I've got a whole video on this right now. This is doing good. I've got zucchini in here. This is a yellow squash in here with cucumbers coming through the back. And then I've got peppers, and it's all full of flowers on the top. And I've got the peppers. These are from Walmart. These are the ones I bought in a bag. They were red, yellow, and orange. I grew it from that. So this didn't cost me anything. I ate the fruit and grew the seeds. Then in here, I've got Korean melon coming up. Old seeds I had, so I'm really happy, quite a few years old, that they're growing. And I've got my first butternut squash coming up. That, I hope, if all goes well, will go up the wall. This is just a watermelon plant. I want it on the bottom. I don't want to layer it in a pot because I'm hoping I can get a split plant out of it if possible. And then I've got a pepper plant. I've got some pots already embedded down here so I can plant something when I'm ready. And that would go straight into the ground. So that's another way of growing in here, because this is not cement, this is soil. Then I've got 2 zucchini in here. Normally in a 5-gallon bucket, I would say no. It would be a bigger plant if there was one, but I'm fine. I've got zucchini already growing and tons of fruit starting, and I will be hand pollinating. Right now, this is a male flower, and that's all right. And then as soon as the females open, I'll hand pollinate that. This is an 18-gallon tote, and I've got a watermelon just here on the bottom of the tote. Another watermelon again. This is just to protect it from the sun a little bit right now as it's young. So I make these shields temporarily. And then this is a cucumber, which is being layered in a pot, because this is going to go up and hopefully cover this wall. And maybe I should have done layering there, and I should have brought a cucumber up there, but I didn't. So we'll see if these cucumbers that I plant here went. But nothing there. There's just some peppers and some Swiss chard. There's cucumbers. They'll go up. But the nice thing is I'm going to keep planting. I'm going to keep going. So I'll have the watermelon going up here, and that's probably going to be enough for that wall. And this tomato plant was looking so bad, I brought it in here, and I'm using it for a layer, I see. And I've got a watermelon and some cucumbers coming up there. This I have to find a place for. It's eggplant seed that I planted. Just 2 watermelon in here right now. That one doesn't look that good, but this one does. We'll see what happens. Nothing in here yet. I didn't plant anything. Celery, lettuce. Look at this. See the lettuce that's getting a lot of sunlight? I think it's going to bolt. This one, no. So I actually can get lettuce off of that. Tomatoes again. And this is an eggplant. This was left here so I could fill the cup up with water, and it will slowly give water to the plant. And this is another yellow squash. This is just temporarily sitting here. It's my lemon balm, and I've got some cucumbers. I think there's 1 cucumber. I don't know if this will make it. Really, there's too much in here, but I didn't have any place to put the watermelon offhand, so I put it there. And then food containers, growing lettuce. If it goes to seed, I can set it out for the birds. It won't matter. And right now I can still use the leaves for salad. And that's about it. Food containers, lettuce in here, a little pepper in there. All right, let's step out. I hope you saw everything in there, because this has been a dream. I know a lot of you have told me, no, I'm not interested. I don't want to set up a dog kennel. And that's fine. But we have deer that come through here, and then we've got all kinds of critters. So I want to make sure I get some, and this was an experiment. When I bought the small one, I thought, oh my gosh, this will change my life. I don't even have to think about it. So if I lost the squash with something in here, let's say something ate my squash here, I wouldn't have to worry. If I've got a squash in there, I'm going to get squash. I'm going to get all my greens, brassicas. All that is the most important thing for us to grow. Keep that in mind, because that's for our health. That's what's going on here. We're pretty much done. Just some more seeds. Look at that growing. These are zinnias. Okay, let's walk over there. So this is my turmeric field. Oh my goodness. Which is great, because I am eating it, if I can remember, every day. I don't want to take supplements. I want to eat it. This is the latest that I've planted. They're coming up. A couple have been nibbled on. Who knows what jumped up there. I've got a little bit of ginger in here. I've been giving most of my ginger to Gary because he's planting it somewhere. All that is turmeric, with a few cuttings of different geraniums I've planted. Now this we just picked up in the trash. Somebody threw it out the other day, and I was with Gary, so we picked it up. I'm not sure where I'm going to set it up. I told him just drop it here for now. That's a nice table. I mean, that's, after all, that was a table, and then he built a different legs for it. That was a table. He made a wooden top. And then we've got the squash in the center growing. Looks like they're all male flowers. I'm going to have to do something, because every time he uncovers it, the squirrels chew on it. We won't have anything out of it. I may have to make a tool fence. I don't know if I'm going to have time. We'll see. Look at the monarchs everywhere. The wall, you saw it last month, exactly the same. Full of zucchini. See all the powdery mildew on that poor plant? Just loaded with it, because we're so damp in the morning, but I'm still getting fruit. But all that is doing fantastic. It's open. I like the way I have the single pots in between the chairs, A couple years ago, I had the totes in between, and it was just too many places for squirrels to hide and jump up and try to eat things. So this has worked out even better. And I don't need that much. This is all we need. And then all the leaves get picked and trimmed and get composted back into the plants. Don't worry about powdery mildew. We can't live when the leaf is gone, it's gone. But my celery's doing really good. The second one over, and then I've got more squash I know what to do with. Though, I do know what to do with it, and that's why I'm freezing it. Slice it up, put it in the freezer. I'm gonna have squash all winter. Here, I've got tomato plants. Look at this. Tomatoes, brassicas, purple tree colored in here. I've got some red bean sorrel, all these tomatoes. I've got to get that tooled, because if I don't, you saw what happened to this one. This squirrel came, he sits there and he holds the leaf, he ate the leaf, then he probably came back and got something off of that. Picks a green tomato for his dessert and he takes off. So funny. But anyway, same thing here. They nibble on the leaves. I don't know. I just grabbed that there. I should get those 2 red tomatoes off and then tool the whole thing. And if it lives, it lives. If it doesn't, I'll pop something else in there. But definitely have to tool this, because this is now bypassed the basket. So see what happens when you tool it? Look how big it gets. Is that not cool? And it's starting flowers down there. Look at that. I've got some pot marigold in there. I've got an canna in there. Gary said this thing will get 6 foot. Well, maybe it'll look impressive in the winter. I'm leaving it right now. So that is my chair garden. The easiest garden to take care of. You get so much off of it. You just go through and water it. I've got celery pushed up against here, a green one. I absolutely love my chair garden. This is like one of my favorite ones because it's so easy to maintain. So I just have to finish up a little bit in there, and then I can step away until fall and then think what else I want to grow. The apple trees didn't fill in as much as they usually do, but that's all right. But look at my nectarines. Getting close to picking. They're still hard as a rock. I picked one and it did ripen, not as good as I like. So I'm going to give it another couple weeks. I have to watch it because once the rats and squirrels find it, they'll pull it off, and the deer haven't found it. So it's all full of nectarines. Last year I froze them, and I still found the bag in the freezer with about 15 left. Isn't that beautiful? I'd love to make nectarine ice cream out of it. I've got a pomegranate tree that Gary cut to the ground because I didn't want it. Came back. And then this is in a pot. I use my avocados, really, these trees, as shade. So if I wanted to put something around it, these avocado trees in buckets can create shade for plants. This is sage. This has been here for so many years, it's not even funny. In that same tote since I started the chair garden with, 5 years old? Okay, truck bed. Gee, we're done. There's the truck bed. Nothing going on in there that I want to do. And that's all that I can say right now. I've got the fig leaf gourd coming up on its own. The celery, it's green, has gone to seed. I'm going to leave it because I love my green celery. There's a little bit of milkweed in there. No watermelon this year. I didn't plant anything. I'm letting the flowers do its thing. And these will reseed itself. This is the pot marigold. Put them in there. I'll think, what's growing in there? And that's how I'm getting them all over the place. There's pot marigold there. It all started with one plant. I don't think I can get back there right now. But it was one plant back there. And then I started grabbing the seeds, and now I've got it all over. I've got it in the bird garden. I've got them on the deck. I've got them everywhere because I carry the seeds with me and then sprinkle them around. But I decided with this to just kind of make it easy on the truck bed. And what I'll do is I'll trim the geraniums back, maybe in the winter, and let them come back for the winter. And then it'll look really nice. So that's what I'm doing here. And that's it. This is where I keep a lot of my tools. This is the barbecue that Gary found and painted up. It should have flowers painted on it. And then the ponds, can't do too much with them right now because you knew one of my dear neighbors down the hill dumped a bunch of raccoons, and they come and they go swimming. So Gary had to take all the plants out. But I do have pomegranates growing. And then I've got my moringa, which I use for my green drink, in the ground, pomegranate, sugar cane. I've got to cut the sugar cane out and restart it. It's too many years old, and then they get kind of, they're just brown. They don't look good. So if I cut them out and put them in the ground, they'll grow really good. But that's it. We made a complete circle. I just can't believe it's the middle of July. Look how gorgeous it is. I'm really pleased with everything growing. Very pleased. So I hope you enjoyed this. And if you really do want to see the deck, let me know. And we'll see what else you want to see. I love my irrigation tubing. I couldn't live without that. My power station, I drag it all over. I can come out here. I can set up pots, make holes out here. I don't have to look for power, a plug. Do it outside in the air when you're melting plastic and making holes. This has just been fabulous. There's so many things I love. I love my tool because it's so easy and quick to put up to keep critters out. I don't mind the bees. The birds aren't doing much damage, so I go ahead and just leave it open on the top. A couple of these clips, you get them so cheap. Dollar Tree's got them a whole package for $1.25. They're still $1.25. And then you can also get them at any store. They sell them. They last forever. And then the irrigation tubing is the cheapest thing you could buy and string it any way you want. You could even skip using stakes. If you don't want to use the stakes, you can roll the irrigation tubing and then you could zip tie it to your totes or your container, or even in the ground. You could just stick it in the ground. There's so many ways of using it. So I hope I'm giving you ideas on things on gardening on the cheap and the free. Put a flower pot in your window. Grow some lettuce. Grow some celery. Grow some cilantro. Grow something. With that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. Sorry that my 15-minute video isn't 15 minutes. Every time I come out here, I think I'm going to make this one 15, 20 minutes. I have yet to do that. You think I should work on that? Bye-bye.